Who wants to be with somebody who doesn't know who they are? That's one of the things that I have found over the last 20 years. I would say 90% of my clients, which I probably have done over 4,000 or 5,000 one-on-one calls, over 90% of my clients are still searching for their purpose. And they say that purpose is not found. They say it's discovered or uncovered. I say it's semantics. But one thing is for sure is anyone who knows their purpose, meaning why they are here, what they are supposed to be doing on this earth, is attractive. It could be your height off, your weight off, your smile off, whatever it is, you level up when you know your purpose. And that's what I just discovered over this weekend. I've been living in my purpose, and I'll be honest with you, I really believe, I met my wife at 21, didn't know my purpose, but I was speaking to it. I was saying, oh, I want to be an author. I want to be maybe a pastor or speaker. And she bought into that. She heard me. She bought into it. But then I didn't live it. I went to being toxic, controlling. She had been in a year-long relationship. I had been in a 2-year-long relationship or so. And she said, we need to take a break after a few months. It was 2 or 3 months in. She said, we need to take a break. I was just maybe too controlling for asking her, what you doing, where you at, what you at. But I also think it probably was, her ex putting a lot of pressure on her and wanted one last chance, which rightfully so. She just met me and I wasn't Prince Charming after she got to know me after a few weeks. And we broke up. 6 months later, we bumped back into each other. My homeboy was coming into town. He had heard rumors about my wife's roommate at the time and said, hey, I want to meet that roommate, if you know what I mean. And so I wrote my wife, which we hadn't talked in 6 months, not a single text message, nothing. And I said, hey, my homeboy such and such coming into town. He want to link up with your roommate. She said, okay, I'll tell her. So she told her, and then he never showed up. And so he didn't show up, and I wrote my wife and I said, hey, well, he never came into town, but do you want to get up? And she said, yeah. She said, yeah, that's cool. So we connected. We talked, had a good long talk, and it was like fell back in love. Like we picked up where we left off and never was separated again in a real way. 10 months later, we got married. So 6 months apart, got back together. 10 months later, we got married. So I was with my wife for probably a total of 12 months, probably, maybe 13 in total. And which equated to about a year and a half, including the 6 months apart. And when we got back together, our son was born a month after we got married. And we weren't living right. We living in fornication. Everything else was right except for the fornication. And my wife was 20. I had just turned 23. And then the next month, I turned 23 March 8th. We got married March 30th. Our son was due July 4th, but he came on April 26th. And I was scared to death. I didn't know what was going to happen. He was placed in the neonatal intensive care unit, the NICU, 2 pounds, 10 ounces. And everything was okay. My wife was visiting him every day. I was so scared. And then I bumped into my cousin, and he offered me a little bit of weed to sell. So I was like, man, my wife told me she won't be with me if I'm selling weed. And he said, well, you tell your wife she ain't gonna be complaining when that money come in. So what did I do? I got a little bit of weed from him, went to selling it. My wife found out, and I thought I could just tell her and be straight up with her. We was married. Our son in intensive care unit. I'm like, where's she going? She ain't got no job. I'm thinking she was trapped. I'm thinking she was like just stuck. And I'm 23 years old, so I ain't know about all y'all terms and all of that back then. But I'm thinking I had some leverage. Well, to my surprise, she walked. And she was gone for 3 days. And that's what created the 72-hour rule that I wrote about in my book, Mrs. Right, I believe, but also I believe it's in A Woman's Influence. Because what I learned then, my wife didn't just want a man. Because all of the guys I knew who sold drugs had a girlfriend, and their girlfriend was okay with it. So I'm like, why is only my woman tripping? She didn't just want a man. She wanted a man of purpose. Because a few months earlier, this was June when she walked, I had published my book February 1st. So I published my book, my first book, What Daddy Never Told His Little Girl. It's probably still on Amazon for sale, 2007. I published that book and went back to the streets a few months later in June. So 4 months later. And my wife walked. And when she walked, we was apart for 3 days. I was blowing her phone up. Probably call over 80 times a day, or at least one day I know I did. She finally answered. And when she answered, she said, I'm gonna give you one more chance. And after that, I was done with the streets. And I said, well, I'm working this job. I'm making $8.50 an hour. I can't take care of my family. That's why I was trying to sell me a little bit of weed. Woman, you ain't gonna let me sell that weed. So what I had to do, I had to push that book. So pushing that book, I said, I got to get on Oprah. I'm like, that's the only way I'm gonna make it. Like, I got to get on Oprah, Tyra Banks, CNN. Like, I said, I got to get out there. I'm shy, I'm introverted, I'm quiet. I don't like people, don't like talking to people, don't like being around people. But I got to take care of my family, and I'm not gonna be able to do it off no $8.50 an hour. And I don't like school. I'm dropping out these classes. I keep failing the classes because I'm not paying attention. Don't want to be there. I'm going there just to get a refund check to pay a few bills or splurge at the mall, ignorant with money. And I had to step full time into my purpose, meaning I worked from 2007 to 2011. I worked from 2006 to 2011, but I got, married in 2007. So I was on that job, and when I got on that job in 2006, I hadn't wrote the book yet. I started the job in May. I started writing the book probably the end of that year. Started thinking about it, moving towards like writing a book, and then eventually I wrote the book. It took about 10 days total to write the book, and I published the book February 1st. My wife invested in the book. She gave me $1,300, so I think that's another reason why she wasn't gonna let me just flush that book down the toilet, because it was like, man, it's $1,300 of my money that I gave you so you could do the expedited publishing. And she did that so I would have something, like, so I could have something to believe in, have something to be, to do. And I don't know who stole my car. When I came back that night and my Impala on 22s got stolen, I didn't know who stole it. I didn't know if the dope boy that I had sold last little bit of weed to and shorted 2 grams, if they stole it. I didn't know if it was the girl, that my wife was, that for whatever they had got into it about something. My wife ain't tell me the whole story. I didn't know if it was that. I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know if she had sent somebody. I didn't know if it was like my cousin, friends, or people that he knew, because he had just had my car like I was looking at everybody crazy. And I remember went to the graveyard of my car, which was at the whatever you call it, the impound or what have you, and it was shot up. My rims was gone, my TV on the inside was gone, and had all my stuff in the trunk that I had just got from my mom house, all my trophies, all my newspaper clippings, everything. Man, I left all them trophies and all that newspaper and stuff right in that trunk, and I left the car, walked away from the car. Never seen the car again. Somehow it got paid off on my credit. My wife got a loan, got her stepdad to co-sign for a $5,000 loan. She went to a car lot and bought me a Lexus, a LS 400 that cost $3,500. That car gave me 1 year of life, like a whole year, almost to the date. And then after that, we took and traded her Honda Civic in that was paid off, which was very stupid because her daddy bought it cash, and got a C240 Mercedes Benz. We spent $8,000 in service on that little raggedy C240 so fast. And I just was always stupid with money, just always balling, just always trying to look like something I wasn't. I was just always I was out of alignment. I wasn't in purpose. And then eventually it came to a point where I say, you know what? I got to go all the way in. I got to live my purpose. And I realized that a lot of times your pain that you've experienced or the pain that you've caused is what births your purpose. And so my wife wanted a man of purpose. And she told me, she's like, I refuse to be with a drug dealer because you're going to end up in prison. She said, the girl I'm working with at the group home, because we both started working at the group home, she said her boyfriend just went to prison for 7 years for selling drugs. And the same thing's going to happen to you. And she was like, I refuse. I will be alone. I will raise this child by myself. I said, you know what? I got to believe, because she was willing to walk away for a few days. And so she probably could stay away. She could go live with her uncle or live with her mama or live somewhere else and live that life. But she gave me another chance. And I got on that purpose kick. And I ever since, that was 2007, 2009, I got on Oprah, got on Tyra Banks, got on TBN, the 700 Club, Trinity Broadcasting Network, the Christian channel. Then I joined Twitter, went viral on Twitter. 2010, I started getting booked for speaking engagements. So here it was, the young man who shy, quiet, ex-drug dealer, ex-womanizer, ex-abusive boyfriend, now getting booked to go around the country to speak on love and relationships, manhood, choices, decisions, consequences. Started working with the NBA as a speaker, the national, and also the NBPA, which is the National Basketball Players Association. Started getting booked by churches and things like that. And brand started to build, just kept building. And then 2011, after becoming an NBA speaker and going on Oprah and Tyra, my friend came and said, hey, what's it going to take for you to go to the next level? I said, man, I got to get out this job. He said, how much you make? I said, I make $20,000 a year. As a grown, musky man, I was making $20,000 a year. He said, I give you $20,000 for 20% of your company. I say, well, I knew I need the ball. I knew I need to splurge a little bit. I'm hood. So I say, let's do 35,000. He said, all right, I'll do 35,000 for 35%. I said, all right. I asked my dad, I asked my best friend, I asked my wife. Everybody was like, well, you're worth zero. You ain't got a hope in the world really already. So it's like, what's 35% of zero? And so, man, you better take that 35,000, because of course, none of us had ever been given $35,000. And so he gave me 35,000, and he supported me and was there for me. If I needed a loan on top of that 35, he did that. And he kept me and my family afloat. That's my outlier. That's my outlier rule right there. But what he supported me, it didn't go to my business really. It just was like, it was him just kind of managing my mismanagement and my misspending. And I think to a degree he could have, I don't know if he felt hopeful or if he felt guilty, because he know I left my job to pursue this. And and I'm a black man with no financial literacy, with no blueprint, with nobody in my family doing what I'm doing, and I'm full time out there. And I think he just was kind of like, man, I can't let you fail because I got you out here. He's a white guy, he come from money. He's third generation, millionaire, billionaire. And so it was a God thing. And I believe if you call, God will put the people in your life that you need, or he'll bless you on your own to where you don't need anybody. And that's what he gave me. And that's why I'm on this kick as like, I wanted to do a relationship topic, but I say, you know what? Just relationship topic on its own is not on my spirit. And I believe in being authentic. I believe in being sensitive to the spirit. And right now I'm on this right here purpose kick. Yeah, I get back to probably relationships tomorrow, but something that's bigger than love is your purpose. And so that's what I'm moving into, y'all. I'm dedicating my life into going into purpose, to speaking more about purpose, to helping you discover your purpose. And yes, you could just go get the book, the Purpose Arc it's on Audible now too. If you want to just listen to it, it's not my voice. So that'll be a little weird, but it's also on the Kindle, should come out in paperback here in a couple days. But you could just go read the book and apply it's not a complete work because it's meant to accompany the live seminar. And the live seminar is coming up November 28th in Tampa Bay, Florida. And you can sign up for it on TonyGassensAcademy.com. And it's the intro one. So this the lowest that it'll be as far as the price, because this is serious business. It's big business. It's real business, meaning that this your life purpose. Like we ain't playing with this. And then I'm also sharing proprietary frameworks, meaning I am not copying this from nobody else. I ain't read nobody else's book and then just regurgitating to you. This is divine download from somebody who has walked it. I had to figure out, the Lord showed me how to put it into words, how to be able to put that into words. But I had to figure this out because I've been living it full time since 27. And when you think about it, you look around, how many people do you know that's been in a purpose full time since 27 years old? Not multi-level marketing, not sales of security equipment and phones, and not restauranting, waiting tables and serving, not customer service, not HR, full time in my purpose, not corporate, in my purpose, helping people change their lives and better their lives, helping people leave broken, toxic, abusive relationships, helping people identify their purpose. I've been doing that full time since 27. Now, me personally, I don't know anybody that's been in their purpose. I know people that's been entrepreneurs because they had an investment or just had a great idea. We got people today that's creating apps and stuff like that, and they making millions and billions at a young age and don't have to work a job. But I've never met anybody that wrote their first book at 22, like started walking in their purpose and then went full time at 27. So I said, it's on me. I owe it to God to sit down with him and to put this into a framework that can be duplicated by other people, to where it's not just me benefiting from living in my purpose, but other people can find a segue at some point off of their corporate job or dead end job or a job that has nothing to do with purpose. And so that's why I'm creating this movement. Y'all gonna get tired of me talking about it. Now, we still gonna do relationship topics every day, but that's why I'm creating this. And so you can get the book. It's on Amazon. But if you really want the breakthrough, really want that next level, then come to the live seminar. It's going to be in Tampa Bay. We're going to be on the water, nice little view. Food will be included. So we'll have lunch, and then we'll have like light bites for at the end of the seminar, like dinner time-ish. And of course, restaurant there. And I get a discounted link as well if you want to stay at that hotel. So as of right now, it'll be at the Grand Hyatt. If not, it'll be across the street, but still working out the final details. But same area. So, if you flying in, just fly to the Tampa airport, because you're right there. But it's not until November 28th. So you can bring a friend or family member that's home with you on Thanksgiving or whatever, and they need to discover their purpose. It's gonna be the real deal. You're not gonna leave. I don't do fluff. I don't do fluff. I don't do Caesar salad and croutons. I do meat and potatoes. So when you come there, it's coming from live experience. This ain't a pipe dream. This ain't something that I done, just thought up, but I ain't never did. You see me every day in my purpose. So I got the blueprint. I got the framework for you, and it's proprietary and trademark on the way. So listen, this right here, and even the book titled The Purpose Arc is the first of its kind. I looked up the purpose formula, and there's a few people that have used that term and published books under that, but not a single book was called The Purpose Arc, which is a journey. It's your journey from your appointment to your acceptance to your gift, walking in it. Like it was downloaded into me, and I wrote it in the moment, to the point that I'm still studying the purpose art. I'm still studying the framework. I've lived it. I lived it. But it was so divine. I just know I'm a vessel. So this is what I'm gonna be doing. Whether you like it or not, you be better off coming to a seminar and seeing for yourself and learning for yourself and partaking instead of hating. And yes, we talk about the purpose of love, the purpose of friends, the purpose of family, the purpose of money. We talk about those things as well. We talk about integrity. We talk about the 4 levels of purpose. We talk about the blueprint is your fingerprint, which only you have that fingerprint. We talk about the purpose formula, that equation of what it takes to really be in purpose. So this gonna be the real deal. So if you working in corporate right now, or maybe you laid off, or you between jobs, or maybe you retired or getting ready to retire in a year, 2 years, 3 years, this seminar is for you. This is for you. And I mean, it'll balance out. Yes, the price of the seminar, it'll be worth more at other ones. But if it's closer to you, then it still could balance out, because maybe you could drive versus having to fly. So if you're in Florida, for sure, Florida and Georgia, anywhere in driving distance, bring your friend if you need split driving time, but get on here November 28th. You get your ticket. It's not really a ticket. You just, when you sign up, you'll see my welcome video, and I'll have a list of everybody. So when you come, you just say your name. We check your name off. So it's not a typical event ticketing site, and it's just there because that's why I'm gonna put the recording of it into the academy. So I'm using that as a little workaround. Eventbrite, because Eventbrite, they charging too many fees. Like, they didn't give them side. They must be about to go out of business. I'm like, man, why y'all charging so many fees? Like, this crazy. Can't nobody even have no event. Like, I would have basically had to charge an extra $100 just to do the event through Eventbrite, to sell the tickets through Eventbrite. I'm like, no, nah. I ain't finna do that. So, hey, grab your ticket if you're able. If not, God bless you. Praying for you, hoping you can make one event in the future. It will be more than this one, but you may be in a better situation then. So I plan to do it like at least every quarter, if not every other month. If I get it to where we really rolling, and I'm able to go to different places and use like co-working spaces and stuff like that, I might do one a month, just depending on Tatum's soccer schedule and little Tony's soccer schedule. But we gonna be moving. We rocking and rolling. I want you to be a part of it, and I want you to understand that, especially for the singles, that's really what the brand is. The brand is your purpose. Although I say create something that you can't be fired from, that is your purpose. And what I'm realizing now is that we got to go deeper. It can't just be about entrepreneurship, or it can't just be about a side gig, or it can't just be about a blog or a t-shirt line. It has to be about purpose, because everybody got a booty. Everybody got a smile. Everybody got all that. But who have a purpose, that they know what their purpose is, what group, what demographic they should be serving? Who should they be serving? Who should you be working with? Who should you be helping? So that's what you got to realize. So get to that place and keep your head up. God bless you. And we will be in touch. Grab your ticket. We're going to be touching on this purpose inside of at the same time with the love and relationship. So it might be one on purpose, one on love and relationship, but not too heavy on the purpose though, because that's for the seminars and that's really for a live experience. That's really for a deep dive. I don't want to skimp on that. But hey, God bless you. All the important links in the description. Shout out to you. Now we transitioning now into our one-on-one help with select individuals through our nonprofit. So thank y'all so much for your support. We just helped rental assistance today in $350 on rental assistance program. Also help someone who is out of work today, $750. Also paid out this beginning of the month, just had to pay someone's rent, which was I think $2,400. So we helping across the board, and I thank y'all so much. Like every dime that come in go out. So thank y'all to the supporters, the donors of the Tony Gaskins Family Foundation. It means the world. God bless you. Keep your head up. I look forward to seeing you November 28th, Tampa Bay, Florida. Y'all gonna get tired of hearing me say that. Only 50 seats for this one because this is the inaugural one. So I'm working it out and we'll be able to do Q&A, see how long it take and all of that. And if I need to bump up to 2 days or can I get it done in 1 day? So that's why this one is priced, 50% off. At the price that you see is 50% off of what the market value will be for 1 day. And then if we add a second day, then it'll go up. So this right here, real deal. This for the people that's locked in. This for the people who really, really serious. This for the people who really want to live their purpose before they die. This on that level. This ain't just no come out, try to look cute, $25. No, real deal. But hey, this Tony Gaskin. God bless you. Keep your head up. Keep going. And we'll talk soon. Got a coach call here in 14 minutes with a couple, so I need to go on prepare. We'll talk soon.